I just wanted to ask, I wanted to know if Mark Snow was going to be doing the music, as well as, I had a question for you, Chris. How did you get the inspiration for the Lone Gunman, the first episode, with the airliner and the Twin Towers, and having that come out before September 11th? And I wanted to know if you got any sort of, you know, what was the aftermath of September 11th and having that episode being written and that?
I'm not going to touch this one. I'm going to give it to my colleague here, Frank Spotnitz, who actually had more to do with the Lone Gunman than I did. The Lone Gunman were created, if you remember the episode, first season episode, by Glenn Morgan and James Wong, and then we did the TV series. But Frank really had so much more to do with it, and especially that part of the storyline. I think he has a special underground connection.
No, actually, no connection at all. But yes, Mark Snow is doing the score for the movie. But we were just looking for the most awful crime we could imagine, and it was as simple as that. And I think all of us, I hate to say that, our first thought, my first thought that morning of September 11th was the Lone Gunman. And I was stricken with the thought that maybe we, had somehow inspired it in some way, and I was greatly relieved to learn the plot that existed long before that was on network television, and then disturbed that if we could imagine it, our government didn't, and I didn't understand why we weren't prepared for a tragedy like that. But yeah, it's been the subject of some conspiracy theories online, and we were directed to write it and so on, and it's just an act of imagination like so many others we did at 10:15.
Mr. Carter, my question is directed to you about the television series. I'm continually struck by your frequent references to religion, and particularly religious texts. Would you mind commenting on maybe some of your thoughts on how you bring that into particularly the television series?
I always thought of the X-Files as a search for God, really, and that was a big part of the inspiration. As far as a particular religion, there is no particular religion. It was really, the truth is out there. For me, it is the mantra, but I want to believe that poster on Mulder's wall, I think, says it all.
David, Gillian, Chris, thank you guys for all coming out today. It means a lot to everyone here.
Thanks for having us. You're welcome.
My question is, what was the most difficult scene in the film, in the movie?
Not done yet.
Well, so far.
Do they? Well, there are scenes that are difficult in different ways. There are scenes that are difficult physically. Those are probably not the most difficult. They just feel like it in the moment. But I would think, and you're probably going to laugh when I say it, but I have to explain afterwards. The scenes with Gillian. And only because we all want those to work so well. I know I put so much more weight on the Mulder Scully scenes, emotionally. And in terms of the spine of the movie and the heart of the movie, that going into them, I think I just feel more expectations. So in that way, it becomes more difficult just because there's more, in my mind, more riding on it.
I'd second that and add my first 48 hours. Oh, we love Exhibit.
Hello. My question actually is for Gillian, and it's not X-Files related, sorry. What's the status on the speed of light? And I love you.
It's a work in progress. It's a huge burden of guilt on my shoulders, but it'll get there, I promise.
Chris, since the gentleman out there brought it up, Exhibit, and you have Amanda Peet we saw in the trailer, and Billy Connolly, of course. Can you talk a little bit about them and casting them and what brought them to the X-Files?
Yeah, if it hasn't been leaked already, Amanda Peet plays an FBI agent, actually a special agent in charge named Dakota Whitney. And Billy Connolly plays a man with very long hair.
Throughout the years, The X-Files has interacted with a lot of classic science fiction narratives, like the postmodern Prometheus and vampirism. So I'm wondering if there are any kind of personal, maybe narratives that you grew up with in childhood that didn't get to be explored in the show, or maybe just something throughout the years you just kind of wished, you would have had an episode about.
Well, I guess what we're attempting with this movie is a little bit of Dorian Gray, aren't we? No, not that way. I'm just saying we're trying to stay in the game there. Anyway. Go ahead, Chris.
I always thought that Mulder should, I don't think we ever did this, autoerotic asphyxiation. I thought that might be a good topic for Mulder.
Appalled that autoerotic asphyxiation is that kind of plot.
Maybe XF3.
No, that was the way I was going to die. That was the way Mulder was going to die.
Yeah, XF3.
What? Chris?
I can't think of anything offhand that we didn't do that we would have liked to have done. Although I had still a list of ideas written in a drawer somewhere. So there were lots, I think, more X-Files to make, but I think we ended the show right about the right time. It was there was a big change in the country after 9/11, and I think now coming back, things have settled a little bit. And I hope that the mood is right and the appetite is right as well.
Yeah.
All right, my question was, from what I've heard, this is going to be more Monster of the Week format than with the actual arc, and I was wondering why you guys chose to go in that direction.
We chose, when we did the first movie, we had an ongoing TV series, so we had to be true to the series and the mythology of arc, and so that movie function is actually sort of a big version of the television series. We didn't have that problem this time. So we have a chance to do what I would consider to be a really big screen, standalone movie. And while you can call it a Monster of the Week, I hope it is it stands the test of the movie-going experience. It just is a really good movie.
I have a question for David.
Yeah.
You were able to almost achieve a PhD and become extremely famous. And I just want to know...
Yeah. Which is harder?
Actually, I wanted words of advice.
How to be famous and have a PhD?
No, just to keep you going.
This is my question. I'm sorry. Advice on?
What kept you going? I mean, to make such a huge leap.
Well, it's faith, really. It's just intuition and instinct and following your gut. You know, if you believe in, if you believe that you can do something, this is going to sound inspirational in a way that I don't want to be. Because for me, it was just a feeling that this was an avenue that I wanted to go down, and then the avenue kept on going. You know, so. I would just say, you know, listen, yes, it's inspirational, isn't it? It's just listen to those voices that you no doubt have in your head, you know? You have to listen to all of them, you know, and try to find, try to follow them. I mean, it's really, I'm being sincere here, I am.